We're in El Salvador, the most dangerous country in the world. In this small country the size of the German state of Hessen, 18 people are murdered every day. The reason is a brutal war between two rival gangs that's been going on for years. Shortly after our arrival, we notice how much violence determines life in El Salvador. A 15-year-old is shot in plain sight, right next to our hotel. These scenes are part of everyday life for El Salvador's children. Even more worrisome is that these crimes are committed by minors. 60,000 children are members of one of the gangs. Our goal today is to visit a prison that wants to give children a different future. A jail where law-breaking mothers take their children with them, literally growing up behind bars. Is that something advisable? Okay, at first glance we see barbed wire, fences, guns. It's clearly a jail. How they plan on providing a happy childhood for those in there, I don't know. It's pretty hard to imagine. Today we want to find out how these children grow up behind the high walls and razor wire. Are they okay in here? Can they grow up happily living like this? Or is life in prison maybe even better and safer than outside on the streets? We had to wait for more than half an hour for a filming permit for the mother-child prison. That's because the women who live here aren't in for petty crimes. Most are here for murder, prostitution, belonging to a criminal organization, extortion or kidnapping. We have an appointment with the prison director, Morena Guadalupe Mejia. Good morning. Are you the director?
I am. Welcome to the mother-child prison.
Can you tell me something about the prison? How many women are living here? How many kids are living here?
We have 180 women and just as many children, and 23 heavily pregnant women who will have their children soon.
The almost 150 women live in just 3 open-plan cells along with their children. Between 6 and 7 in the morning, 2 guards unlock the cells, one after the other.
Okay.
It's very stuffy, it's very humid, and it smells a lot like diapers here. With almost 50 children in a large room, that's not so surprising. But the first impression is a lot better than what we expected. It's clean, tidy, the children are all in good physical shape, and the room is very colourful. It has a feeling of a youth hostel, more than that of a prison.
So everyone gets one of these beds, right?
Yes, everyone.
That's not so much space though. I'd say it's about 6 square feet.
So this is not that much space.
Well, this is a prison in the end, and you should also remember that these are much better conditions than what some of them have back in their homes.
Of course, that's what the prison director would say. But we want to learn more. We want to see life in the mother-child prison from the children's perspective. She allows us to form our own impressions. I'm Rafael. And you?
Hi, I'm Delmi.
Hola.
What's your name?
Jorge. Jorge. Hola, Jorge.
Hello, Jorge. Tell me, do you live here?
¿Vives aquí?
Yes, that's right. We have a bed and a crib here.
Delmi has been sentenced to 8 years in prison for extortion with deadly consequences. She's already served 4 of those along with her son. He was only a few weeks old when she was sentenced to prison.
You know, this is not much space for you and your kid.
Oh, that's okay. The actual problem is that there are too many people in one room. That often leads to friction between the children, but also between us mothers.
Ni lo indicado, porque sí, mejor me gustaría estar sola.
We're allowed to accompany Delmi and Jorge today. Like every morning, the first thing to do is go to the washroom. A couple of showers, about 50 sinks. It looks modest, but this is actually a luxury here. Many of the poorer neighborhoods in San Salvador don't know what having running water is.
Do you think Jorge knows that he's in prison, that he understands?
No. Él no tiene ni idea.
No, I don't think he sees this as a prison. This is our home for him. He has no idea that we live in a prison.
Pero él no tiene ni idea de que él esté.
It may be that Jorge doesn't know another kind of life. And admittedly, the mothers really do try their best to improve the appearance of the prison, so that the barbed wire is more resemblant of a colourful clothesline. And Jorge also looks more cheerful than we expected. Children of 4 years of age pick up on more than we think. In particular, if you deal with the situation as openly as Delmi.
Honey, what do you wish for? I would like to have a donkey. A donkey? What kind of donkey? One to play with. A donkey to play with, I see. Okay, I promise you we'll get one when we're free.
Oiga.
Conversations about being free, bars on the windows, locked doors, all quite repressive for us, but normal for Jorge. Nine in the morning. Once a day, Delmi is allowed to leave the prison for a few minutes and take Jorge to the kindergarten, built right next door. This is meant to bring some sense of normality to everyday prison life, albeit while in handcuffs.
No, it's not a bad thing. He has no idea what handcuffs are, right? My love, what do we call these? Jewelry. Jewelry, exactly. And what's so special about this jewelry? It shouldn't be too tight, otherwise it'll hurt you.
In fact, the fantasy world Delmi constructs for Jorge seems to be working. And Jorge seems to be a very happy kid. The external conditions are also optimal. There is even 24-hour medical care in the prison's own kindergarten. That wouldn't necessarily be the case in Germany. Here in El Salvador, it's a luxury. Nonetheless, there is a bitter aftertaste. Something is missing. I just can't exactly say what it is. While Jorge is playing with his kindergarten group, mothers in the prison can work and make some money. Sewing and knitting. Or like Delmi, in the field. We take a closer look at the pretty, colourful and well-equipped kindergarten and meet up with Maria. What's so different here in comparison to other kindergartens?
What we do here is, first of all, give the children physical and emotional protection. These children need special care when they're in prison with their mothers.
Why?
Because they don't really know very basic things. Like, for example, that you eat at a table. These kids really need some kind of life training for the world out there.
Sure, if you grow up in a room with 50 other children and mothers, elementary things like family life slip through the cracks. And only now do I realise what I had noticed, or the lack thereof, since I arrived here. Men. The children have no male caregivers here. Mothers, guards, director, kindergarten teachers, they're all women. What is actually astonishing, or maybe even a little bit scary, is that's my cameraman up there. The children surround us in a hurry and are looking for this male contact. The supervisors didn't have much to do with it, and how much they yearn for a father figure. In fact, they call my cameraman Dad twice. It has to be said that the children are actually doing well here. And as far as we can tell, they seem to have a happy childhood behind bars, even if a father figure isn't in the picture. But the longer we stay, the more evident the underlying problems become. Above all, the fear of loss.
Adios.
Where are you going?
Vamos a...
Just to the entrance.
Vamos a...
To the entrance over there.
To the entrance? Over there?
Aquí.
Over there, correct, okay?
Okay?
Yes.
Adios.
I want to speak to the teacher again about the children and their relationship with their fathers. And then I realized the real problem with the concept of a mother and a child prison in El Salvador.
What do you think will happen when they first go home to their family they've never seen before?
That's exactly the problem. Some children have no family at all. When the mother is in prison, the father is usually behind bars too, or dead even. And when the kids are 5, they have to leave. Leave the kindergarten, leave the prison. And they don't know where to go. I have 2 kids now who have to leave soon, and they have nobody. No one out there. No father, nothing, and they can't stay. I can only help them prepare.
We learn that Jorge's dad is also in prison and will probably stay there for some time. And Delmi will have to stay in jail for about 3 more years. When Jorge turns 5 next year, he'll still have to go, regardless. Where, like for many other children, is still unclear. As absurd as it sounds, the children that have to leave at the age of 5 tend to depend on themselves from then on. The children can hardly wait to finally be able to run back to their mothers in the afternoon. Back home. Back to prison.
Did you have a good day? Yes. And I've been waiting for you all day by the door.
Jorge is allowed to stay in prison with his mother for another year. Then he will have to exit the high but also safe walls for the first time. Delmi is currently trying to reach her sister from jail, with whom her other 4 children have been living well ever since her arrest.
Do you think it's a good place for Jorge to grow up?
No, of course not. Nobody should grow up behind bars. But overall, I think it's important that he grows up with me, his mother. He is safest with me. I'm only afraid of him leaving prison next year. I don't know where he'll go, and he doesn't know the outside world. He's never been there.
Our conclusion: are the children doing well here? Yes, they're safe in prison. They have medical care, they're well looked after, and they're with their mothers. Everything's fine so far. The problem comes afterwards. As long as there are no ways to assure the children will be taken care of after the age of 6, the concept of a mother and child prison will always be faulty.
Keep this secret. Blessed is the name. The name be praised.
Adiós.
Gracias, cuídense.
Muchas gracias. Adiós.
Ya decirle.
Adiós, Jorge.